As we have all seen in the past few weeks, Alex Albon is not doing too hot. With reports of him being dropped surfacing left and right by both the team and the media, it's a ton of pressure on the Thai driver, who admittedly hasn't been performing that well. But what if I told you this is much deeper than you might think? This is not Alex Albon's problem, but a Red Bull problem, and Red Bull's problem is Max Verstappen. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that a small percentage of you are actually subscribed to the channel. So if you like my content and would like to support me in any way possible, please subscribe. It's free and you can always change your mind. Max Verstappen made his debut in F1 at the age of 17, which means he was still unable to legally drive a road car. This was an extremely controversial move due to the little previous racing experience, and therefore, to prevent F1 from becoming a children racing series, the FIA implemented the super license requirements list we have today, where you have to complete certain number and combination of championships in junior categories to be eligible for an F1 super license, and therefore a seat on the grid. Debuting alongside Carlos Sainz, he had a great first season, and for the next year, Red Bull were eager to promote him to the main team at any cost. That meant demoting either Ricciardo or Kvyat. Both had been performing similarly the previous year, so Helmut Marko put a blindfold on, was spun multiple times and pointed at one of the two garage slots. That's where Verstappen would go. Or at least that's what I would like to think happened. Therefore, Kvyat was stripped of his seat after a podium in China. He was relegated to the midfield for the fourth event on. 2016 was a good year for Red Bull, all things considered. While the Mercedes drivers exchanged wins at the front, they finished second ahead of Ferrari and with some solid performances by Ricciardo, Kvyat and Verstappen. It was all good from then on. With two of the best drivers on the grid, they'd win a handful of races in 2017, two by the Dutchman and one by the Australian, who went on to finish ahead in the championship by 32 points, but on 2018, it all started to go wrong. In the summer of 2018, after a couple of tumultuous seasons in Red Bull, Ricciardo announced that he would be departing the team in favor of Renault. He cited that he was looking for a new challenge, but it was quite clear to see that the team was turning to a Verstappen team, which would have been fine if he was dominating over his teammate and there needed to be a number 1 and number 2 structure, but by all means, that wasn't the case. And although it's not reflective in the standings due to the extreme reliability issues suffered by the Australian, who retired in 8 of the 21 events, whenever the two of them finished, it was extremely close. They took 2 wins apiece and the tensions were high. There was no secret that Daniel was beginning to be fed up by Max's antics. What do I mean? The overly aggressive nature toward his teammate on the track. And therefore it was solved too much. He decided to jump ship to a team that would support him as much as the other driver, which seems fair to me. This left Red Bull with an open seat for 2019, and the prime candidate for this seat was Gasly, who was a relatively new addition to F1, but had outscored his teammate in his rookie season 29 to 4 points and was part of the young driver program. His debut was subpar, but we thought he was just getting used to the car. On China and Monaco, the 4th and 6th events, he was close to Verstappen and had the fastest laps, although from then on he started dropping down, finishing deep within the midfield in the following 3 events and retired in Germany after trying to overtake Alex Albon in the Toro Rosso. 2 races after, he was dropped by a perceived underperformance and having become the laughingstock of F1. With an average finishing position of 7.1 and 2 DNFs, it looked like they may have overrated him and was replaced by Alex Albon from Belgium on. But surprise surprise, once he was back at Toro Rosso, he finished within the points 5 times and was pretty fast again, grabbing a podium for good measure on the second to last race in Brazil, while Albon was doing pretty good on the Red Bull himself, finishing in the top 6 in 8 of the 9 races that season, although not that close to Verstappen. 2020 has been a bucket of cold water over Red Bull's face. After a rough start to the season with a lost potential win for Albon, the Mercedes domination has been way too strong, and the midfield has ramped up their pace, while the Red Bull hasn't improved that much in comparison, being left in the middle and having the driver make the difference. But the car has also played its part in this. With the most unstable car in years, it's pretty much purpose-built for Verstappen, which makes sense seeing as he's the number 1 driver. But the fact that his driving style is so bizarre and extreme by being so pointy and oversteery means that it's really hard to build and maintain confidence with the car. And with 12 races done for 2020, we're starting to see the problem was not Gasly or Albon. I think it may be Verstappen. What do I mean by this? Red Bull are pumping all of the resources into him because he's the one that gets the results at the end of the day, and they are looking for someone that can play second fiddle. But because the car development is so pushed toward his side of the garage, the second driver ends up having to adjust to the car that is underneath them, which inevitably has led to underperformance because of Verstappen's particular driving style. I'm not saying that Albon is as good as Verstappen, but we've seen how Gasly was performing, and look at him now. Once he's in an environment that allows him to mess up without major repercussions, to try again, and where he has support and feels comfortable, he's now a race winner. And everyone is talking about a move to a top team for him looking forward, but not in a Red Bull. Why is that? Because we've clearly seen already what the team does to their drivers. Kind of destroys their confidence and puts them on thin ice as soon as they are slower than Verstappen. It almost killed Pierre's career once. It would be suicidal to go at it again. Red Bull have stated that they intend to keep Albon until the end of the season at least, to ease pressure off of him and try to unlock his potential. But it's too little, too late. I'm willing to say this car is pretty much undrivable to anyone except Verstappen. And no matter who you put in that second seat, whether it's Gasly, Albon, Perez, Hülkenberg or whoever, they are going to struggle to a point. This approach might be also costing Red Bull Racing some serious points, because maybe it would be better to finish a bit off the pace of the Mercedes, but with two drivers on P3 and P4, making the car a bit more malleable and pushing a little more to the middle of the garage, because at this rate, Team Verstappen are going to be in serious trouble soon, with no drivers actively seeking to drive for them, to switch from another team to theirs. It's clear that the way Horner and Marco keep going through young drivers is clearly not working. Alright, this was another bit of a short video, another trending topic, let's say, that I also wanted to cover. I think, this is a situation that has been evolving for a while now, and it's kind of reaching its cusp. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.